Isolation is much more than being alone. It means cutting out all human contacts. But what happens when that's all you know? This is how some children are raised away from society, estranged from social skill, and with little to no knowledge about interaction. When inserted into society, these children have several problems adapting, therefore being known as feral children. Feral or wild children have been raised away from society in human context since a very young age. Therefore, they lack any social skill and their behavior is considered abnormal as a consequence of being isolated during the most crucial years of language development. Many don't know how to speak and communicate only using sounds. There are many stories and myths about children being raised by animals, children who hunt or even run on all fours. However, in the 20th century, psychologists began digging deeper into the case of children who isolate as a way of abuse by adults. In this video, I would like to tell you about the story of feral child Ginny Wiley. Ginny's story came to light on November 4, 1970 in Los Angeles, California. A social worker discovered the 13-year-old girl after her mother sought out service for her own health. The social worker soon discovered that the girl had been confined to a small room, and investigation by authorities quickly revealed that the child had spent most of her life in this room, often tied to a party chair. The girl was given the name Ginny in her case file to protect her identity and privacy. The story of her case soon spread, drawing attention from both the public and the scientific community. The case was important, said psycholinguist and author Harlan Lee, because our morality doesn't allow us to conduct deprivation experiments with human beings. These unfortunate people are all we have to go on. With so much interest in her case, the question became what should be done with her. A team of psycholinguists and language experts began the process of rehabilitating Ginny. Despite scoring at the level of 1-year-old upon her initial assessment, Ginny quickly began adding new words to her vocabulary. She started by learning single words and eventually began putting two words together much the way young children do. After a year of treatment, she even started putting three words together occasionally. In children going through normal language development, this stage is followed by what is known as a language explosion. Children rapidly acquire new words and begin putting them together in novel ways. Unfortunately, this never happened for Ginny. Her language ability remained stuck at this stage and she appeared unable to apply grammatical rules and use language in meaningful way. At this point, her progress leveled off and her acquisition of new language halted. Ginny was evaluated again on her language ability. She was tested, for example, on a variety of syntactic structures, such as her understanding of simple negation, and could respond correctly to sentences like "Show me the bunny that does not have a carrot," as opposed to "Show me the bunny that has a carrot." She was tested on her understanding of adjectives, such as big and little, point to the big circle. She was required to place objects with respect to other objects, just like in, under, next to, behind, to see if she understood the relationship expressed by those prepositions. It was found that Ginny's ability to understand speech had improved quite rapidly. although her progress in speech production was very slow and continued to be slow. Ginny's language learning was studied for about 8 years, after which time she made little progress. Her language ability, both in terms of understanding and production, remained well below normal and her speech continued to be ungrammatical. Ginny was not able to acquire a normal level of language despite receiving a great amount of care, attention, instruction, and linguistic input. Ginny was finally placed in a home for retarded adults where she now lived. This was the end of the scientific collection of data on Ginny's linguistic or other development.